Recording in progress. What's up, everybody? This is the Monday virtual sales training call. So excited to have you guys on here. And if you do have questions, again, put them in the chat. We'll hang out and we'll answer some of the stuff if it's specific, if it's general, whatever happens to be. Happy to help you guys. And I'll put it this way. Overall, virtually, I think we've got a great group of people that are selling virtually, doing really well virtually. We've got a really good system. We've got some really good leads that we're starting to get access to. And so, those of you guys that are doing it consistently, we're going to start having some of you guys jump in here and do some of the training, which would be awesome. So for today, though, I wanted to talk about when it comes to selling virtually, it's a little bit different than it is in the home. So, when you're sitting down with somebody at their kitchen table, it's you can call somebody on the phone right then and there, and the client kind of welcomes it. Like, hey, yeah, I'm going to give Mark a call. Mark's an insurance nerd. He knows everything. That's what I would say. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, call Mark. Let's see if we can get something, make sure I get the best thing I can get. Well, whereas when you're going virtually, you don't always have that luxury. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll kind of split things up into a 2-call close. The downside to that, well, first of all, the upside is in between call one and call two, you can get in touch with your upline, someone who knows what's going on, the in-home sales chat group, and we can kind of find what is the best option, for your client. But if the downside, so that's the upside to like a 2-call closes, you've got that time in between where you can go, get coaching and find out what the best product is. And especially when you're new, that's kind of why we taught it like that or teach it like that, is just when you're new, you need that coaching because you just don't know the products. You don't know who can get approved for diabetic neuropathy or whatever. You just don't know that stuff. So we split it up into a 2-call close. The downside to a 2-call close is you got to call these people back. Okay. And if you guys don't know and you're on here and you're wanting to sell virtually, or maybe you're already selling virtually, you're going to have like 40 to 50% of the people that you schedule a second call with, they're going to no-show you. Okay. So like that's the downside. You're not driving around town, but you're chasing these people around on the phone. And lots of times it's not out of malice that they don't show up or just that they don't like you or they don't want to do business, or usually it's actually none of those things. Usually the reason that people don't show up is they just get busy and they forget. You know what I mean? So there's just a high no-show rate, when you're selling virtually, which is okay. You can kind of fight through that. What I encourage people to do, if you're not already doing this, is get as you're organizing your leads, have leads, have a pile of leads like, hey, here's the leads that I'm calling. And then you've got the leads that no-showed you on that second call. Well, you never know. Like you call through those, you're going to get people that answer and they're ready to buy. Okay. Eric, who's, a new agent last week, I think it was last week, called the lady. She no-showed the appointment, called her back, ended up getting her, set up with a policy when he got a hold of her, after the fact. This is people that no-showed you on the first appointment. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've just been so busy. So do that. You need to, and you got to stay organized with it. You need to make sure that you've got a pile of leads of like these people that no-showed you. If it's 40, 50%, you don't give up on those. In fact, you give them every benefit of the doubt, and you call those people back, and you never know. Lots of times they're ready to put an application in. I've had situations and scenarios where I'll be calling these people back for 2-3 months, and then finally they're like, hey, I've been meaning to get back to you. I'm ready. What's the price again? Oh yeah, it's whatever. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's get this application in. And so those are kind of sales waiting to happen if they no show you. But that is the downside to having a 2-call close. And so, we have a lot of people, and I think this is a really good thing. As you get better and better and better, you want to go for a 1-call close. Okay. If you can, and it doesn't always work out like this. Where you can get, a 1-call close, but a lot of times you can at least make a shot at the 1-call close. Okay. And what you do is on the phone with somebody, it might sound something like this, like, all right, Gerald, so, hey, I've got a pretty good idea here. Thanks for sharing all that health info with me. Like I told you, I work with 30 plus companies out there. That way we can shop around, find you the best prices. And, hey, I know you've got diabetes, you've got neuropathy. And Gerald, I've been doing this for a little while. There's a couple of companies that are really just the best in the country for if you've got diabetic neuropathy. So bear with me just a second here. I'm gonna, these companies are kind of hands down the best. So I'm gonna pull up the quotes. Okay, cool. So and hey, Gerald, and I'm just giving you guys an example here. Hey, if we could find something that covers this and it fits, in your budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't get something set up today? No, if it fits, so long as it fits in the budget, that's what they're going to say. Okay, great. So listen, I shop around. There's kind of two companies. They're the best for diabetic neuropathy, and this one here, whatever, $20,000 of coverage, what you're looking for. It's going to be X, and you can even ask them right then and there, like, hey, do you have a couple minutes for us to go over it now? Because I'm pretty confident in what the options are. Okay, and this is how you can go for a one call close. And worst case, Gerald says, "Oh, listen, I don't have time for this right now. When can you get back with me? Go shop around. When can you get back with me?" Worst thing that happens is it turns into a two call close. You with me? So, and I'm not saying I want to be clear here. I'm not saying to give them the quote and then ask if they've got time to put in an application. Ask them, hey, do you have, or if we could find something that covers this and it fits in the budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't get something set up? No. Okay, cool. Do you have a couple minutes here? If because I kind of already know what the best companies are in the country. Do you have a couple minutes here if we find something that covers it? You've got 10, 15 minutes here that we can put an application in. And if he's like, yeah, man, I'm free all day, that is a one call close. Okay. If he's like, oh no, I'm taking, I got a doctor's appointment in 3 minutes. Okay, yeah, you get out of there, go talk to the doctor. That's way better than talking to me, anyways. Maybe, or they'll be like, oh, I got lunch with my grandkids. Okay, cool. That's way more fun than talking to me. What does your day look like tomorrow? We can circle back. Okay, so worst thing that happens is you go for one call close. Hey, if we could find something that covers this and it fits the budget, any reason why you wouldn't get something set up? No. Okay, cool. Do you have a couple minutes? Because I kind of already know what the best options are in the country. And again, we've talked about this. You don't want to make them feel like you're rushing them into something. You want to make it like, hey, I really know what I'm doing, and there's kind of a handful of companies that best fit your situation, and go from there. So you could go for the one call close. Worst thing that happens is it turns into a two call close. Okay. But how do we get to know, especially when we're new, what are the best options for people? So we've got some tools for this. We've got lots of tools for this. And I'm going to share my screen here so we can roll through some of this stuff. But we've got the insurance toolkits, and I'm just telling you guys, like, this thing is $15 a month. Spend the stupid $15 a month. Like, it is absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, it is absolutely worth it to go out there and spend, $15 a month to be able to know what the answers are fairly quickly. So that way you can go for a one call close and you can close more business. And hey, if you go for the one call because you already know what the options are, what the best options are, and they say no, then worst thing that happens is it turns into a two call close, right? And so, how do we start to figure out what the best options are? Right. Well, we gotta find out their health information, and I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of stuff here of exactly what I do, exactly what I say. Excuse me. Excuse me. Exactly what I do, exactly what I say when I'm on the phone with a client, and how that typically plays out. So I'm sitting there with Gerald. I'm like, hey, Gerald, so if we could find you something that, or I'm on the phone with Gerald. Gerald, if we could find you something that covers this, that makes sure that Sherry is taken care of financially when that day comes. She's got enough money to bury you, like you said, and she doesn't have to worry about the financial side of your passing, and she can just grieve you properly. If we could find something that covers that and it fits the budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't get something set up? No, man, I think I'd get something set up. Okay, great. So what I do is I work with like 30 plus different companies. I'm just going to get a little bit of information here from you. And actually, you know what? This will be even better. Somebody, one of you guys that's on here, if you guys are down to role play with me, let's just role play a little bit. I want to hear, from you guys, what are you getting out there when you're talking to people? What kind of health issues, things like that. And that way you guys can kind of see a little bit in real time what I might say. There we go. Thank you for the volunteer. Hopefully that works.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's
Okay.
up?
Okay. Hi.
Hey, Miss Mal. How are you doing?
Well, I'm good. Just tried two apps. Both got declined. Got to pivot.
Nice. Nice. Well, thanks for hopping on here and give me some hard ones. Give me or well, whatever you want, whatever you think would be useful, especially think back to either you right now or you a year ago or 2 years ago when you were new. Like these people, especially doing it virtually, like how over the phone. So um let's say we built the why. Okay, and now I'm gonna start getting into the health questions. And again, I'm gonna say this like 10 times on this call. Start asking this question. Hey, Mallory, so if we could find something that covers this, that makes it so when that day comes for you, hey, God willing, it's 50 years from now, but when that day comes, and let's pretend you're like 50 or 60 or something. When that day comes, 30 years from now, God willing, that Austin doesn't have to worry about the money. Everything's kind of taken care of. Maybe there's a little bit extra, like you were saying that you wanted. Um, if we could find something that covers that and it fits the budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't get something set up?
Well, as long as it fits the budget, I mean, it's pretty, you live on a fixed income, so
Got it.
it's
Yep.
gotta be fitting the budget.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely do that. In fact, I tell my clients, I tell everyone really that hey, it's more important that we set this up in a way that's gonna fit the budget rather than getting like a huge amount of insurance coverage. Just because if you get tired, if it's not in the budget, you'll get tired of paying the premiums, and then it just won't be there to really serve its purpose. And so Mallory, what I do is I work with 30 plus different companies. They're all A-rated companies, great companies. But we do that so we can shop it around. And I've got your birthday as, January 15th of 1970. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. And so you are 54, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Mallory, are you a tobacco user?
Well, occasionally.
Okay. How occasionally?
Oh, about, you know, a pack a week.
Okay. About a pack. All right. Cigarettes?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So one pack a week. And if you guys look at my page here, I don't know if you guys can still see it with Mallory on here, but and I'm just making up my notes here, but I pretend like I'm writing one pack a week. Homegirl's a tobacco user. Like, girl, you're
Mm-hmm.
smoking a pack a week. We're putting you down as tobacco.
Even if they're
Um,
like, well, I'm trying to quit.
yeah. Well, you've been trying. Like, yeah, they don't care about that. Okay. And then Mallory, as far as health goes, anything major. And when I say major, I mean things like heart attacks, strokes, mini strokes, cancer, diabetes that requires insulin.
I do have diabetes. Do have diabetes.
Pause for all of you guys that are new. When they say that they have diabetes, there's additional questions you want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get used to asking these questions, but just I want you guys to know that. So, hey, Mallory, for the diabetes, do they have you taking metformin or taking insulin, or is it both, or what do they have you taking for the diabetes?
Well, I take a few things. I take insulin, but I don't know how many units.
Okay,
Don't know how much. And I also take the Ozempic,
okay.
and there's one more, but I don't know the name of it.
Is it a pill or is it a like an injection? The last one there.
Uh, it's a pill. It's a
Okay.
pill.
Is it metformin, glipizide?
It's that second one there. This is the G name.
All right. There's like 1,000 of those, just so you know. Glipizide, glyburide, they just make up names. I think they're all the same pill. Okay. So we got the diabetes, and then what else do you have? Any other prescriptions that they have you taken?
Um, well, I'm pretty healthy. I take something for my cholesterol.
Okay. Cholesterol, just like a statin.
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
What else are you
And
taking, Mallory?
take something for the blood pressure.
Okay.
And oh, let's see here. What else do I take? Do you really need all of them?
Yeah, yeah, because they're going to look at it and they're going to base the decision of whether you get approved or not based off of, a lot of these medications. So it'll just be helpful for me to be able to shop and find the best ones. Okay.
Well, let me get my list here. Okay. All right. I take a water pill called Lasix.
Okay, got you on Lasix. And what's the Lasix for there?
Just water retention.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and then what are the other ones they got there?
And I take something to help me sleep at night. It's called Ambien.
Okay.
And that's it, Nick.
Okay, so we've got the insulin, the Ozempic, the glipizide, the cholesterol med, the high blood pressure med, Lasix, and then Ambien, right?
That's it.
Okay. And Mallory, do you know what your last A1C was for the diabetes?
Oh, it was good. It was 7.5.
All right. Cool. So again, pause. I'm writing all this, I'm taking notes on all this, but while I'm talking to Mallory, and I'll do this all the time with clients, I'm gonna sit here and put their medicines into the toolkit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put their age in here and I'll just start running I'll start running the quotes. You know what I mean? And I'm just for simplicity, I'm just saying like, hey, this lady wants, final expense. So let's put like 20,000 or 10,000 or something. And then let's just start putting this stuff in here. And the better you get at this, the more you'll start to realize like the insurance companies do not care about a stat. Okay, so you barely even need to put it in here. It's still good practice when you're new. Just put all the meds in here. Um, but okay, so she's taking insulin, she's taking Ozempic, and while I'm sitting here talking to her, like I'm putting all this stuff in here, and I'm just making small talk. Like okay, cool one. Hey Mallory, did you? I know we kind of talked about this, that you were wanting between, maybe 20 or 30,000, or really just as much as you could comfortably afford. Um, did you have an idea of exactly how much coverage you wanted, or just as much as you could comfortably afford?
Well, I'd really like about 50,000 is what I would really like.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can do for the 50,000. Um, and how many blood pressure meds do they have you taken? Is it just the one?
Yeah, it's just the one.
Okay, just the one. And how long have they had you on the Lasix? Do you know?
About 2 years.
Okay, 2 years on the Lasix. Got it. Do you happen to know what the daily dosage is of the Lasix?
Yeah, it's 40 milligrams.
Okay, perfect. Um, all right. And again, you guys, like I'm sitting here, I'm putting all this stuff in here. And also they don't care about the Ambien, I don't think. Like they don't care about Ambien at all. Okay. So what you do on the toolkit is you plug all this stuff in there while you're on the phone. And if you look at this, like all of the options are just going to plop up in here. Okay. And we click on this little arrow right here and you can kind of price compare. Okay. So the annual rate for CVS for 50,000, okay, which is pretty good, is 1720. Oh, I forgot to put tobacco. She's a cigarettes. She tasted like cigarettes. That's what I think of when they tell me that they're using the cigarettes. Okay, so look, CVS is 2365, Moo is 1916. This is per year, and I'm not going to quote her the annual price. No one is paying the annual prices. Okay, but it just gives me an idea of like, okay, where do I start? And then what you do from here is you go click on the compare button. Okay, and Mutual of Omaha, Living Promise, 54, cigarettes, female, and then you hit this button that says compare quotes. Okay, so boom, there's the price. Okay, so first thing I want to show you guys is like while you're on the phone, and here's what you say to kind of close this out and go for that one call close. You just say, all right, Mallory, so nothing else. And oh, I forgot to ask, what's your current height and your current weight?
Mm, 5'4" and 225.
Okay, 5'4", 225. Pop that in there. These are still options. See how it still says level. If they won't get approved for something, then it'll tell you why over here. Like, hey, we don't have rates for 50,000. We don't have rates for 50,000. This one is a decline due to height and weight restrictions. Okay, so it'll tell you. And something else I want you guys to all just be aware of is sometimes as you're using the toolkit, people will get declined because you might hit a button wrong in here, or you don't ask them like, hey, how long have you been on the insulin? Right?
Hmm.
Like that might be a problem. So diabetes, no complications for the insulin. Okay, well, hey Mallory, how long have they had to? I forgot to ask you, how long have they had you on the insulin?
Oh, since I was about 47.
Okay, so 47, so that would have been 7 years ago. So, well, bam, pop it right there. And again, like I'm just kind of guessing on the dates here. You don't need to get that granular, but like, hey, she started at 7 years ago, sometime in 2017, and she is, oops, I'm doing this backwards, y'all. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you can kind of mess stuff up. So this is the date of the last fill currently taking. This is the date of the first fill, 2017. And she doesn't know how much she's taken. Uncontrolled diabetes does not sounding like it, and her last A1C was less than 8. So we put that in there, and still pops up. Okay. So now we've got options. Okay. So we know that CVS is 2,300 a year. That's like 200 bucks a month. Moo is like 1,900 a year, like 170 a month. Liberty Bankers 27. That's pretty high. Uh, Royal Arcanum is an option. Aflac Preferred is an option. Okay, and then Transamerica Standard is an option. So what you do is what I do is I just click on the cheapest one. I hit compare, and then I go get the exact number for. Okay. And how I wrap this up and like go for the close is I'm saying, all right, Mallory. So and I'm just putting all this in. Like I said, I work with 30 plus different companies, and we just do that so we can get you the best options, the best stuff that you can qualify for. And I've been doing this for a little while, and there's really one company. There's a lot of companies I think you'd be able to get qualified for, but there's one of them that's kind of the best. And as far as pricing goes, and it's a company called Mutual of Omaha. Okay.
Oh,
And
I've heard of them.
yeah, so
I've
they're a big company that have been around for a while. And that's exactly what they all say. Oh yeah, I've heard of those guys. Yeah, Mutual of Omaha. I remember that TV show. Um, like, yeah, they're pretty great. So they've been around for a while, and they're going to be just the cheapest for you in the country, Mallory. Like I said, I work with all these different companies. They're kind of the best prices, and so if you can get approved, and it sounds like you can, um, it's it. And let me back up just a little bit. I'm going for the one call close. So I'm gonna say, hey Mallory, so I kind of shop around, been doing it for a while. I know that Mutual of Omaha is the best option for you. If Do you have a couple minutes here that that you and I could go through an application together and see if we get you approved?
Yeah, I've got a few minutes.
Okay, cool. So it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes. I just want to make sure that you've got some time, and if it makes sense, like, hey, let's put the application in. So I know you want the 50,000. The 50,000 is going to be $170.52 per month. One
Oh
seven.
no, that's way too much, too
That's
expensive.
no problem. Like I said, Mallory, it's more important that we set this up in a way that fits the budget rather than, getting that 50,000, 30, 40, 20,000 that fits the budget is better than the 50 that doesn't. You know what I mean? So 40,000 ends up being 137.06. Is that a little bit closer? Are we in the budget there?
I'd really like it to be about $100.
Okay. And this is legit what I'm sitting here doing while I'm talking to him. Okay, let me just run it here for you. Okay, so looks like Mallory, 30,000 is right at 103.60. Is that is that in the budget?
I guess so. Yeah. Guess so.
Do you want me to look a little bit lower? Do you want it under 100, or is 103 going to be okay?
At 103 will be okay. I wish it was more coverage, but I guess that is going to be the best.
Yeah. Well, and I know you're only smoking a pack a week, but um, just occasionally, one pack per week. But if you ever quit smoking, Mallory, we're going to be able to get you some better options. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to go pull up the application, and then I go pull up the application and I run, I'm gonna go plop it all in there. Okay. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Use the toolkit. Okay. The other way that we can go about doing this is we can use the final expense underwriting grid and the mortgage term grid. These are free. You don't have to pay the $15. I'm a fan of this toolkit because it's worth every penny of the $15. It literally spits out every single company. If we were to put in like 20,000 in here, okay, it's like she wanted 50,000, so it kind of limits what companies will do 50,000. But look at this. It spits out all of them. We can price compare every last one of them, and it all just works really well. If we want to do the same thing using the underwriting grid, we can do it. Okay, but just so you guys know, you gotta, you go to nauniversity.com, you go to resources, and there's just a lot more to it if you don't spend the $15 to get it. Again, you can do it, nothing wrong with it. But we're gonna go click on diabetes. All right, that's the first thing she said, and then we got to start writing this stuff down. We got to cross-reference, like, okay, diabetes, and I don't even know if like fluid retention is on here. No, not even on there. So there's certain things that this might miss. But if we go look at diabetes, um, here's what it says for Mutual of Omaha, and we got to go read all these. Like, oh, okay, these guys are going to decline. These guys are okay. And then in order to go quote using the not using the toolkit, the reason the toolkit it'll tell you the underwriting and you can get the quotes all in one place for all the companies. If you don't use the toolkit, then what you got to do is you go over here to Alliance University, click on quoting tools, click on Mutual of Omaha, click on mobile quoting link. Okay, then we go down here, we click on Living Promise. Then we got to go run it. 54, level, tobacco, female. And then if we want to compare this 50,000 to another company, we got to go, so 170.52. Well, then we got to go back here, okay? And I'm just telling you, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, okay? To sit here without the toolkit and do all this. So like, okay, we want to look at CVS. CVS is cool with it. All right, mobile quotes online. And we have to go through all these steps. Like, damn it, CVS, you're gonna make me log in to get a freaking quote. Okay, and then you got to log in to go get the quote. And then, all right, well, what about Occidental? Or what about, oh, okay, America will approve her. Well, let's go to their quoting tool. Oh, guess what? You got to go log in there too. So I'm just, what I'm telling you guys is get the dang toolkit. Like you can do it for free, but that $15 a month, number one, you're going to spend $15 worth of time easily the first day that you're quoting people. And number two, you're going to lose sales because you just, oh, well, let me find rural neighbors and oh, let me go look at this. And then you got to go log into the websites and then you're writing all this stuff down and then you screw something up where it's a whole heck of a lot easier to be able to go in here and they've got all the quotes, all the prices. Now the grid is really, really good. The term grid and the final expense grid are really, really good, especially for cross-referencing like different things. So like, hey, someone's got Alzheimer's dementia. Um, hey, guaranteed issue, the Royal Arcanum, grade it. So like, grade it's a good one. It's a good one to get like their each company's individual underwriting rules. Okay, like oh yeah, they've got an autoimmune disorder. Most of them don't care. Look at this. So it's a good place to go cross-reference, like go back and forth. Like if you find one that's like a little iffy, you put it in the toolkit, and there's that little red thing right there where it says, hey, Lasix might cause this case to be referred to an underwriter, or whatever, use the grid to kind of cross-reference some of that stuff. But it is we used to have to do it like that before we had the toolkit. The toolkit is just it makes life easy. So I would say spend the $15, get the toolkit. What there's a bunch of you guys in here. What else do you guys want to do you guys have any underwriting situations that we want to go over or objection situations or Mallory, do you have any we're kind of running out of time here, so I don't want to keep you on, but do you have any other like, hey, what if someone has this and this, what do we do? Or if any of you guys have any of that stuff, pop it in the Q&A. So we've got one here. When filling out the application, how often are you running into people concerned about online scams when it comes to getting bank information, credit card information, etc., and how do we handle that? That's a great question. So actually, I want to hear from you, Mallory. How often are you running into that, and how are you the people that are skeptical and they think you're a scam?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good question, Eli. I do not get any of their information other than what I have on the lead and their health information before, like I always send my information to them before I get any secure information. So if they're like ready to start the application, I send them, hey, before I get any of your information, it's important you have mine. So I'm going to send you a text message here from my cell phone, and this is my card. It's got a picture of me. There's my name, first and last, my email, my phone number, and then I'm also putting on here my national producer number. That is just linked to my licensure in every state. So these are my credentials. If you wanted to get on right now, you could, that's linked to my license in every state. Um, and I mean, you are going to run into people that are still weird about their bank info. I had a lady a couple weeks ago that didn't want me to have her social, but it's like, okay, good luck. You just have to be patient and understand that you're just going to have to hold their hand through it. And you're still going to have some weirdos that don't want to give any information at all. But I think it lets their guard down a little bit more if you send their their information. Oh my gosh, send them your information first. Um, and I do get questions about the banking of it. This is just how they do it. That way, once you're approved, it's ready to go, ready to draft on the day that we pick on the application. This is just how they do it. I just say, oh, yeah, we get that question a lot, but this is just how they have their application system set up. I don't know if that answered your question at all, but
I think that's really great. And the other thing that like the best way, just period, end of story, in person, virtual, whatever, the best way to handle an objection is to handle it before it comes up. Period. Like end of story. Like address it before it comes up. So like exactly what Mallory did. Hey, it's a really good phrase. Like, hey, before I get any of your information, I want to make sure that you have all of my information. Like that's really good. And the other thing you can tell people is like, hey, then this is what I say is like, hey, I'm going to send you that message. It's got my phone number. It's got my email. It's got my license number on there. Just so you know, like, hey, I'm licensed. I'm insured. Because you have E&O insurance. So when it comes to doing this business and you kind of cover the objection before it comes up. That's the best way to do that. Next question here is how do you handle people being frustrated or impatient when you ask for prescriptions, or if they say one for high blood pressure and two for diabetes? Is there a list of common prescriptions for common health issues? So yeah, we don't really have like lists put together. If you find yourself in that position and they're on like they're refusing to tell you the names, here's what I would say. Politely and professionally ask them for the names. Hey, and what's the name of that one? Okay, so you've got two. Like I would accept their answer. Okay, so you've got one for high blood pressure and you've got two for diabetes. And Cheryl, what's the name of that high blood pressure med? Oh, I don't know the name of it. Like, oh, okay. If I said a name, would it ring a bell? And as you get better, people are going like you could start naming off some. Oh, is it lisinopril, losartan? Oh, it's the second one. Okay, great. And then you said two for diabetes. What are the names of those ones? Do you know? And then you could just politely ask. Again, like we're trying to help them get a good decision here. We're trying to like we are on the same side as our clients. It's us and our client, bringing this information to the insurance company. It's kind of us and the client against the insurance company, not necessarily, but we're trying to get them approved. So like we just want to get them the best options available. And so that's why we need that. And if you need to explain it to some of them, and that's why I'll tell them like, hey, I'm going to get a little bit of information from you here. This is going to help me go shop this around. Let's get you the best thing that you can qualify for. All right. And you just got to politely ask for those names. And sometimes they'll bitch and moan and complain like, oh, I'll go get them bag them. You really need it. Sometimes you'll get some of that, but not terribly often. Usually they'll just give you this stuff. So Mike says, send people your picture, especially if you're good looking. It builds trust. That's absolutely true. A bunch of us have virtual business cards that we've just made. There's a free website called Canva. You can make those on Canva. Put your phone number, your national producer number, your license number, your email. Put a little cute picture of you and your family if you got a family, or just like a good professional picture of you. And I can't tell you how many times like I will have a conversation with somebody and then they will I'll send them that like, hey, here's all my stuff, and they're like, oh, your kids are so cute, and it just builds rapport. You got to remember, like, you are virtual. They can't see you. They don't know what you look like. Okay, so get you a nice picture of yourself so they can see what you look like, and it helps build rapport, and it helps kind of grease the wheels a little bit where they're going to be less skeptical. And again, you want to be on top of it. You want to overcome these objections before they pop up, where hey, send them that. Like if you're getting ready to put an application in, like send them that. Okay, because it's going to build a little bit of trust. Okay, this is somebody who Yeah, Mike says if you're ugly, still send it. They'll feel bad and don't buy. I don't think we have any ugly people, but um, so it builds trust, yeah, especially virtually. Like you got to be able to build trust. So, um, I appreciate you guys. I don't want this call to go too long. Hopefully, this stuff was valuable. Mallory, thank you for hopping on and being a trooper and hopping on. We're gonna get you on one of these calls here very very soon because you're kicking butt. So, I appreciate y'all. And let's go kick some butt, guys. We've got 7 more days essentially. We've got today, uh a week from today is the end of September. Let's finish strong. I know a bunch of you guys are pushing for some of the promotions that we've got going on where the swag is starting to come in. You guys are going to be all about that stuff. And so let's have a massive end of September. Like push hard. Let's get where you want to get to. And anything that we can do to help, we got you. Reach out to me, reach out to Mike, reach out to Dave, Dan, Rachel, David, whoever it is. And Aaron, reach out to everybody. And let's go kick some butt, y'all. So appreciate you guys. Let's go kick some ass. And we'll be talking soon. See you guys. Bye.